Good morning. Not you. Good morning to everyone else. You sleepies. Go back to sleep. Shh. I think she's different. No. Sleepy time. Sleepy girl. Sleepy time girl. Yeah. Sleepy time girl. So sleepy. So sleepy. Yeah. Sleepy girl. Sleepy girl. Okay. We can sleep, huh? You can sleep. 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 Good morning, everyone. How are you all? No, CP. You want to see me? Don't smile at me like that. You should sleep. Sleep. Hello from Poland. Oh, that's amazing. Susan, are you going to send pictures? I really hope you are. I would love to see pictures. Yes, go to sleep, princess. That's right. Sleep. We're gonna sleep. Sleep. There's a long way out in the sea where babies grow up on the tree. So much fun to swing up in the sun, but you have to watch out if you sneeze. Have to watch out if you sneeze. Morning, Stephanie. Have to watch out if you sneeze. 'Cause swinging up there in the breeze, if you happen to cough, you might dare to fall off and tumble down on your knees. Tumble down on your knees. And when the stormy winds wail and the breezes blow up in the gale, there's also much hopping, flopping, and dropping, and that little baby's just cool. That little baby's just cool. And the babies lie there in a pile, and the grown-ups come after a while, and they always pass by any babies that cry. Yet take only babies that smile. Take triplets or twins if they smile. There's an island way out in the sea. Hey Isabella, how's your vacation going? Where babies grow up on the trees, and there's oh so much fun to swing up in the sun. But you have to watch out if you sneeze. Have to watch out if you sneeze. Oh, Isabella, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there any way you can talk to your mom about it since she does the flying all the time? Yeah. The flying. You like how I said that? Like, it was like, what does that even mean? She does the flying. The flying. I meant she flies all the time, so I meant to say it, but my brain went, no. She does the flying. Nani forgot to descale the machine yesterday. Yes, my smiling girl. So smiley. Good morning, Avery. Good morning, everyone. That's right, Amanda's right. Find things that can ground you. Yeah. Smiley girl. Why are you so smiley? You basically slept 10 minutes. That's not nearly enough. Not nearly enough. What? Jamie, that's insane. Are you serious? I'm going to say something crazy. I hope you reported it, right? How does that even happen? That's insane. 10 Headphones help me in so many ways. That's true. I agree. Headphones are great. Yeah, I'm very serious. My husband has reported a break front. That's crazy. What an insane thing to do. If you would have said to me, Sasha, guess what terrible thing happened last night? Good burp, honey. I don't know that I ever could have guessed what you were gonna say. That's crazy. It's crazy. You need to sleep anyway. Even if we're sad about the baby goats, you have to sleep anyway. Babies have to sleep. Baby goats have to come home. Yeah. Yeah, that is really sad. Did you maybe the burp will help. Yes, the burp will help you sleep. There's an island way out in the sea where maybe you're awfully cute, my little dinosaur. Yeah, you're awfully cute. Boop. Not to be dramatic, but I don't think it's dramatic at all. And they're too young. Yeah, how many did you have? Like, okay, wait. So you have their mamas. The princess wrap is super cool. Yeah, birthday. Oh, it's your birthday too? Happy birthday, Sloth. Happy birthday. Oh, can you say happy birthday? No, you can't. But you can pretend. We can pretend to say happy. I know, she's very cute when she fights her naps, but she needs it so desperately. Stephanie, you will know this life soon. Yeah, I don't think it's dramatic either. 5 babies, 4 mamas are still here. That's crazy. Why would they take the babies and not the moms? Like, what are they planning on, like, bottle feeding them? Morning, Cass. Like, that's kind of crazy, right? Okay, time for nappy nap. Yeah, time for a nappy nap. Nappy nap. Nap, 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 nap. Nap, 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 nap. Nap. Right, it's very crazy considering how time is. It's insane. Like, what would be the point of it? Like, I don't even, to sell them off, but like, to who? To someone else who wants to bottle feed? I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's the crazy part of it. All right, bye, Susan. See you later. Send pics. I love travel pics, you guys. If anybody travels, always feel free to send me pictures. I will always say yes to pictures. You know, there's those memes. It is a bit abnormal. Say yes, I agree. You know how there's those memes that say like, I never don't want to see your dog, or like, I never don't want to see, whatever, I never don't want to see your baby or whatever. That's true also. But like, I never don't want to see your vacation photos. Like, please send them to me always. Like, post them where I can see them, link me to them. I always want to see your vacation photos. Wherever you go, travel, a place, especially if it's a place I've never been, actually, whether it's a place I've been or not, I want to see it. Because if it's a place I've been, I see them all the time, Isabella, I love it. If it's a place I've been, I love seeing it. Yeah, it's book club. I love seeing it because I like the memories. And if it's a place I haven't been, I like seeing new stuff, So that's pretty much the whole thing. Posted the cutest fairy mermaid sandcastle. Oh, good. I can't wait to see it. I hope they're found. Thank you. Oh, I can't even imagine, Jamie. Hey, Samantha, did you see I posted the things for you? Both of them. Wait, you were the one who wanted not yesterday's, the one before. Somebody else wanted yesterday's. Anyway, they were posted. No, we haven't started yet because, someone's fighting her nap and chewing on her wrap, which is fine. I also love seeing other people's joy. Yeah, post the pics. 100% post the pics. Oh, good. I'm so glad, Samantha. So you're all caught up. That's great. What I was going to say, actually, in line with what Christy's saying, you know how some people, like, complain when, that's right, book club justice rides again. That's right. Wait, what's been happening? So, Cass, unfortunately, this morning or late last night, true, Jen, Jamie's baby goats were stolen. I can't stop taking these eardrops for ear infection. No. Ear infections are the worst, Naisa. Totally the worst. Okay. So what I was saying was some people like have complaints about the part of social media where people just like put her baby goats, like GOAT, little baby goats, just brand new babies. People complain about the part of social media where people like post too much vacation or post their food or whatever. I actually love that part of social media. I think that's the good part of social media. I say post your breakfast, post your vacation, post whatever makes you happy, and I want to like it. I'm a chronic like story and post liker. Like if I see it, I'm liking it. You know what I mean? Unless it's a bad thing, of course. But like I'm responding always. So I don't know. That's pretty much it. That's the whole thing. Post everything. Oh no, not again. We're not doing seat popping again today, huh? Mommy has to bounce. Mommy has to bounce. Anya, you know it to be true. As long as people know it's not the whole picture, it's great. Yeah, I agree. It shouldn't be the whole picture, but like definitely enjoy, that. Hey Christina, how are you? I also want to see everyone's vacation. Yeah. Any luck getting a better truck? That's always my concern with you now. Now that you had that happen so many times in 1 week, every time I see your name, I'm like, I wonder if Christina's okay and she has a working car for work. Which I know is not something you can really control. I know, she really needs it. She really needs a nap. She also scratched herself. Like, she was like flailing around last night and scratched herself, and it's so sad. Breaks my heart. I'll put stuff on it. Okay, so today, while I bounce this baby, we're gonna read chapter 2. The one thing about having it on Kindle instead of on a physical book is it's easier to hold her and the Kindle at the same time than hold her in a physical book. New truck, now we're doing a whole new route, a half of another for like 3 days. Ooh, that's a lot. Well, at least you have a new truck to get you through it, right? I mean, I'd rather do a whole route with a good working truck. I don't know how long I can say I'm gonna watch baby. Okay, well, I love that for you. Okay, she heard that. Did you hear that? She grumbled. She was like, Naisa can't leave me. No. Okay. Man, that's good coffee. So delicious. Hey, Liz. Hey, you made it just in time. I got a new cover for my old 7-gen Kindle, and of course it doesn't fit. Of course not. Of course not. Route and a half, though. Too many callouts. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's getting crazy. Well, oop. Chapter 2. Drink some for you. I am. I'm drinking it for you every day. Are we looking again? Apparently every day, Christy. Apparently every day. All right. Here is chapter 2. And you can sleep. Yeah. Sleepies for you. Sleepies for you. Okay. The screens go dark for a second, and then the flag reappears. Obviously, they don't want the rest of the country to witness the disorder here in 12. The square erupts as some people make for the side streets and some rush to help Woodbine, even though he's long past helping. The peacekeepers keep firing, mostly as a warning, but oh my lord, that is an immense amount of drool on my arm. That felt horrific, you guys. That was maybe one of the worst things I've ever felt. It was just like strings of drool down my arm. Oh god. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop reading, but like it wasn't my favorite feeling. Well, you did it. Yeah. Yeah. Mom love deals with all the icks, that's right. The peacekeepers keep firing, but mostly warnings and a few unfortunate hits at the edge of the crowd. I don't know which way to go. Do I find Sid and Ma? Do I get Lenore Dove off the square? Do I just run for cover? Who did this? Who did this? Demands Drusilla. A bewildered young peacekeeper gets pushed to the edge of the roof of the Justice Building. You imbecile! Drusilla berates him from below. You couldn't wait until he was in the alley. Look at this mess. It's a mess, all right. I catch sight of Ma and Sid at the end of the crowd, and I take a step their way when a rough male voice booms over the system. On the ground, everybody, now. Automatically, I fall on my knees and I assume the position, hands linked behind my neck, forehead pressed to the sooty bricks of the square, and out of the corner of my eye, I see almost everybody around me follow suit, except Otho Malark, a big lug of a guy whose folks own the bakery, seems bewildered. Malark. We know who that is, right? Yep. His meaty hands dangle loosely at his sides and his feet shuffle back and forth, and then I notice his blonde hair is spattered with someone's blood. Burdock punches him hard in the back of his knee, and it's enough to get him down on the ground and out of the line of fire. Drusilla's hot mic bounces her voice around the square, and she screams at her team. We've got 5 minutes, a 5-minute delay, and we'll have to finish this live. Get rid of the bloody ones. For the first time, I understand that when they showed the reaping live, it isn't really live. There must be a 5-minute hold on the broadcast in case something like this happens. Peacekeeper boots trample through the audience as soldiers grab anyone marked with gore, including Otho, and push them to the nearby shops to conceal them. I know, it's crazy, Naisa. It's just like every time I hear another name, I'm like, oh, she just put everybody in this one. But I guess it makes sense because it's the parents, right? Ugh. We need another boy. That dead one is no good, said Drusilla, clunking down the steps to the square. There's a high-pitched keening, followed by the peacekeeper barking orders, and then I hear Lenore Dove's voice, and my head shoots up like I don't control it. She's trying to help Woodbine's mom, who's latched his hand to Woodbine's mom, who's latched onto his hand as a pair of peacekeepers attempt to carry him away. Lenore Dove is tugging on one of the soldiers' arms, begging them to please let his ma just have him. Just let her see him for 1 minute, but they don't seem to have a minute. This will not end well. Should I get in there, pull Lenore Dove away, or will I only make the situation worse? I feel like my knees are glued to the ground. What is the problem here? I hear Drusilla say. Get that boy off the square. A squad of 4 more peacekeepers heads over. Having Woodbine referred to as a body sets his ma off, and she begins to shriek, flinging her arms around his chest, trying to pull her son away from the soldiers. I know, honey, it's time for a nap. I think the same thing, Naisa. Lenore Dove joins her, grabbing hold of Woodbine's legs to help free him. Ma's going to lay into me for even intervening here, but I just can't grovel on the ground while Lenore Dove is in danger. So I push myself up and I run toward her, hoping to get her to let Woodbine loose, and I spy one of the incoming peacekeepers raising his rifle to knock her out. Stop! I leap in and shield her, just in time to intercept the rifle butt that slams against my temple. Pain explodes in my head as jagged lights cut through my vision. I don't even make it to the ground before the iron hands lock on my upper arm and haul me forward. My nose inches from the bricks. I'm dropped flat on my face before a pair of yellow boots. The tip of one of them lifts my chin before letting it bang back down onto the ground. Well, I think we've found our replacement. Lenore Dove is behind me, pleading, No! Don't take him. It wasn't his fault. It was mine. Punish me. Oh, just shoot that girl, would you? Says Drusilla, and a nearby peacekeeper trains his rifle on Lenore Dove, and Drusilla snorts in exasperation. Not here. We've got enough blood to clean up. Find a discreet location, can't you? And as the soldier takes a step towards Lenore Dove, a guy in a violet jumpsuit appears, laying a hand on his elbow. Hold it. If I could, Drusilla, I'd love to keep her here for a tearful goodbye. The audience eats that kind of stuff up, and as you always remind us, it's a challenge to even get the audience to notice 12. Fine, Plutarch, whatever. Just get the rest of them up, on your feet, you district pigs. And as they lift me, I notice that Drusilla has a riding crop clipped to the side of one of her boots, and I wonder if it's just decorative. Her dead fish breath hits my face. Play this right or I'll shoot you myself. Hamish, I hear Lenore Dove cry. I start to respond, but Drusilla clamps onto my face with her long fingers. And she can watch. Plutarch gestures to one of the crew. Get a camera on the girl, can you, Cassia? And he pursues Drusilla. You know, we've got footage of the peacekeepers controlling the crowd. It could be an opportunity to hit the no peacekeeper, no peace angle. I don't have time, Plutarch. I barely have time to pull off the status quo. Get the first boy. What was his name? Wyatt Callow, says Plutarch. Get Wyatt Callow back in the pen. Drusilla smacks her forehead. No, she thinks a moment. Wait, yes, I'll call them both. It will be smoother. It's gonna cost you another 30 seconds. Well, then let's going. Sorry, then let's get going, she points at me. What's your name? My name sounds alien when it leaves my lips. I'm Hamish Abernathy. Hamish Abernathy, she repeats. Hamish Abernathy, she repeats. Hamish Abernathy, I correct her. Am I crazy or is it getting shot? Not as bad. Yeah, I know, Avery. Like, unless you think that you might win, but they want to shoot Lenore, not Hamish. So she would just, I mean, she didn't get called, so she should have a chance to live. I don't know. It is crazy, though. She turns to Plutarch in vexation. It's too long. He scribbles on his clipboard pad and rips off a strip of paper. She takes it and she reads it. Wyatt Callow and Hamish Abernathy. Wyatt Callow and Hamish Abernathy. Why, you're the professional, Plutarch says. Better take your place. I'll position him. And as Drusilla hurries up the steps, he takes my elbow and whispers, Don't be stupid, kid. She'll kill you with a snap if you mess this up. I don't know if he means with a snap of her fingers or some extra horrible snappy way to die, but either way, I don't want to die with a snap. Plutarch leads me to a spot closer to the stage. This'll do, just stay here. And when Drusilla calls your name, you just calmly walk up on stage, okay? I try to nod. My head throbs and my thoughts tumble around like rocks in a tin can. What just happened? And what is happening now? Somewhere inside me, I know. I'm a tribute in the Hunger Games, and in a few days I'm going to die in the arena. I know all of this. It's like it's happening to someone else while I watch from a distance. The remaining members of the audience have regained their feet, but not their composure. People whisper urgently to their neighbors, trying to figure out what's going on. All right, we're live in 30, someone says over the speaker. 29, 28, 27. Shut up, Drusilla yells at the crowd as the makeup person puffs some powder onto her sweaty face. Shut up, or we will end every last one of you. As if to emphasize this, a peacekeeper next to her fires a spray of bullets into the air, and a hovercraft passes right over the square. It gets quiet fast, and I can hear my blood pounding in my ears. I have an impulse to flee, like Woodbine did, but I remember the look of his brains hanging out of his skull. 10, 9, 8. Everyone on stage has returned to their pre-shooting places. Luella and Maisie, the peacekeepers, and Drusilla, who quickly tears the paper Plutarch gave her into two and positions the slips on a pile in the glass ball. I reached for Burdock and Blair to steady myself, but of course they're not there. Just a couple of younger kids who are giving me plenty of room. 3, 2, 1, and we're live. Drusilla pretends to draw a name, and the first gentleman who gets to accompany the ladies is Wyatt Callow. In some strange replay, I watch Wyatt, as impassive as before, go by and obediently take his place on the stage. What a strange question. Where's the slime you made? That gives me basically no information. The slime I made when? The slime I made where? Which slime? This is book club. And also, what does it matter? She wished Wyatt didn't get chosen. I know, she loves Wyatt apparently. In some strange replay, I watch Wyatt, as impassive as before, go by and obediently take his place on the stage. It's in Liz's hands, that's right. Drusilla's hands hover over the ball, and then she removes a slip with surgical precision. And our second boy will be Hamish Abernathy. I just stand there, and in case this is a bad dream that I'm about to wake up from in my own bed, everything's all wrong. Now, minutes ago, I dodged this bullet. I was headed home, and then to the woods, safe for another year. Hamish, Drusilla repeats, looking straight at me. Why are you looking straight at me, sleepy girl? You're so sleepy. My face fills the screen over the stage. My feet begin to move. I see them cut to Lenore Dove, whose hand is pressed against her mouth. She isn't crying, so Plutarch won't get his tearful goodbye, not from her and not from me. They will not use our tears for their entertainment. Wow. That's a line. They will not use our tears for their entertainment. I like that. No, they will not. No, they will not. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming the District 12 tributes of the 50th Hunger Games. You are too smiley. This is not a smiley time. Drusilla acknowledges us, and may the odds be ever in your favor. She begins to clap, and I hear a huge audience response over the speakers. Don't laugh at it, it's not funny, honey. Although I can only see a handful of people applauding in 12. I locate Lenore Dove in the crowd, and we lock eyes, desperation setting in, and for a moment everything else peels away and there's only us. She lowers her hand and presses it to her heart as her lips form the words silently, I love you like all fire, and I mouth back, you too. Cannons break the spell, confetti showers down on me, on the stage, on the whole square, and I lose sight of her in the fluttering bits of bright paper. Drusilla spreads her arms wide. Happy second quarter quell, everybody. And we're out, says the voice on the speaker. The broadcast has moved on to District 11's reaping. The canned applause cuts off, and Drusilla lets out a groan, dramatically slumping against the podium. The Capitol TV crew gives out a loud cheer as Plutarch appears from the side of the stage, shouting, Brilliant. Bravo, everybody. Absolutely seamless, Drusilla. I know, she definitely does, Avery. Yeah. Okay, time for nappy nap, honey. Drusilla recovers and yanks off her daffodil hat by the chin strap. I have no idea how I just did that. She pulls a pack of cigarettes out of her boot and lights up, exhaling the smoke through her nose like it's a chimney. Well, it's a great story for dinner parties anyway. I think she does too, Nikki. One of the assistants appears with a tray of glasses filled with pale liquid. He accidentally offers me one. Champagne? And then he realizes his mistake. Whoops, sorry, none for the children. Drusilla grabs a glass and notices the people of District 12 standing mute and miserable while the last bits of confetti... Yeah? Anything else? Yeah? Bouncy, bouncy baby? Yeah, we bounce? I'm about to lose signal. I'll catch up tonight. All right, bye, Ray. We'll see you later. The people of District 12 are standing mute and miserable while the last bit of confetti drifts down on them. Well, what are they staring at, these filthy beasts? Go home, all of you. She addresses a peacekeeper. Get them out of here before their smell gets in my hair. She sniffs a lock of her hair and grimaces. Too late. The peacekeeper gives a signal, and the soldiers begin to push the crowd back. While I see Burdock and Blair put up a struggle, most people rush to the side streets, only too happy to escape the ordeal of the reaping, to hurry home, to embrace their children, and for those who patronize Hattie's stall, get good and drunk. Hey, Kim, we are reading Sunrise on the Reaping, which is the last book in the Hunger Games series. We're on chapter 2. I'm panicked by the sight of a District 12 peacekeeper restraining Lenore Dove. Why didn't I step in sooner? Why did I wait until I had no choice but to defy that soldier? Was I feeling afraid, confused, or just powerless in the face of those white uniforms? And now we're both doomed. The peacekeepers bringing out cuffs when Clerk Carmine and Tam Amber swoop in. They talk to him fast and low, and I think some money changes hands. To my relief, the peacekeeper glances around and releases her and walks off. Lenore Dove makes for me, but her uncles hustle her down a side street. The other luckless loved ones of this year's tributes remain behind. Mr. Donner runs up to the stage with a fistful of cash, hoping to somehow bail out Maisie, while his wife and Marilee huddle near their storefront. Don't, Papa, Maisie cries, but her father keeps waving money in people's faces. Not yet. She's not out yet. There's a family that I judge to be the Callows, where a woman weeps hysterically and the menfolk have come to blows. You jinxed him, one accuses another. This is on you. Our neighbors, the McCoys, have their arms wrapped around Ma, who's barely able to stand. Sid's hanging onto her hand, pulling her forward as he hollers, Hamish, Hamish. I'm already so homesick that I could die. I know I need to be strong, but the sight of them totals me. How will they manage without me?
What's supposed to happen next is that the tributes go into the Justice Building for a final farewell to their family and friends. I've done this once before. My ma and pa took me here when Saoirse Whitecomb, the daughter of pa's old crew boss, got reaped. She'd been orphaned that year when her pa, Lyle, died of black lung. Ma told the peacekeepers that we were kin, and they took us to a sitting room with a lot of scratchy furniture that needed dusting. I think we were her only visitors. I know that I should wait for the official goodbye time, but the only thing that matters now is to hug Ma and Sid. With Mr. Donner and Maisie making such a ruckus, I get to the edge of the stage. I crouch down and I reach for them as they run to me. None of that. I'm yanked backwards by a peacekeeper as Drusilla continues. No goodbyes for these people. They've lost their privilege after that outrageous display today. Take them straight to the train and let's get out of this sinkhole. A pair of peacekeepers tosses Mr. Donner off the stage. Mid-air, he loses his grip on his money, which floats down and mingles with the confetti on the ground, and then they pull out handcuffs. Luella's been holding it together, but now she looks at me, her eyes wide with fright. I lay my hand on her shoulder to steady her, but as the cold metal touches her skin, she lets out a small squeak, like a baby animal caught in a trap. At that sound, the families surge forward, desperate to reclaim us. The peacekeepers hold them back as Plutarch speaks up. I don't mean to be a pain, Drusilla, but I'm really low on reaction shots for the recap. Do you think I could just maybe snag a few? Oh, if you must. But you're not on the train in 15. You can walk home, says Drusilla. I owe you. Plutarch does a quick assessment of our families and points to me and Luella. Leave me this one and this one. The peacekeepers steer Maisie and Wyatt into the Justice Building, beating back their relatives with batons when they try to follow. Somehow, Merrily slips by them, and for a moment the Donner twins become one. Arms locked around each other's necks, foreheads, noses pressed together, a mirror image that the peacekeepers tear into two. I see Wyatt give a final look to the hysterical Callow woman before marching through the door. Luella and I rush for our folk, but Plutarch intervenes. All right, let's get the footage. The crew sweeps in an area in front of the shop, clear of confetti. A cameraman positions himself while Plutarch poses Luella's parents and her half a dozen brothers and sisters in front of the bakery. Wait, if you were in the reaping, get out of the picture. Two of the kids move out of range of the camera. All right, good, he says. Very nice. Now, what I need you to do is react exactly the way you did when you heard them call Luella's name. In 3, 2, 1, action. The McCoy family stares at him numbly. And cut. Plutarch crosses to the McCoys. Sorry. It's obvious that I wasn't clear. When you heard them call Luella, it was like a big shock, right? Oh no. Maybe you gasped or cried out her name. Anyway, you did something, right? And now I need you to do the same thing for the camera. Okay? He backs up. So, in 3, 2, 1, action. If anything, the McCoys are more stony-faced than before. It's not confusion. It's a blanket refusal to put on a show for the Capitol. Cut, Plutarch says, rubbing his eyes, and he sighs. Take this girl to the train. The peacekeepers whisk Luella into the Justice Building as the McCoys finally crack, crying out her name in anguish, and Plutarch motions to the crew to film their reaction. When the McCoys realize that he got their distress on tape, they're infuriated, but the peacekeepers just muscle them off the square. Cruella and Drusilla, yeah, that is pretty intense. Plutarch turns to Ma and Sid. Listen, I know this isn't easy, but I think we can help each other out, right? If I can get a usable reaction shot from you, I can give you a minute with Hamish. Are we clear? I see Sid's eyes flicker skyward as there's a low rumble of thunder, which feels like a warning, and I look at my ma's pale face and my brother trembling with his lip out. The words spill out of my mouth unbidden. Don't do it, Ma. My ma overrules me and addresses Plutarch. No, I'll do it. We'll both do it if you let us hold him one more time. Deal. Plutarch positions them side by side, but Ma moves behind Sid and wraps her arms around him. Nice, I like it. Okay, so it's the middle of the reaping. Drusilla's picking out the boys, and she just said, Hamish Abernathy. In 3, 2, 1, action. Ma gasps, and Sid, confused as no doubt he was at the time, cranes his head around to look at her. Cut. That was terrific. Can we try it once more? And this time, maybe make the gasp a little louder. All right, okay. In 3, 2, 1. But it isn't once. Plutarch keeps calling for more and more dramatic responses. Come on, call out his name. Then you hide your face in her dress. Can you break into tears? Until Sid is crying for real and my ma looks like she's ready to pass out. Stop it, I burst out. That's enough. You've got enough. The walkie-talkie on his belt crackles and I hear Drusilla's impatient voice. Where are you, Plutarch? We're just wrapping up. We'll be there in 5. Plutarch waves Ma and Sid in my direction, and they rush into my arms. You've got 2 minutes. I crush them against me for what I know is the last time, but time's a wasting, and we are not a wasteful family. Take this. I empty the contents of my pockets into their hands, money and peanuts into Ma's, a knife and a white sack of gumdrops into Sid's, bequeathing the remains of my life in 12 to them. Sid raises the gumdrops. Are these for Lenore Dove? Yeah, you see that she gets them, okay? I say, and Sid's voice is hoarse with tears but determined. She'll get them. I know she will, because I know I can always depend on you. And I kneel in front of my little brother and I hold out my sleeve like I did when he was tiny so he could wipe his nose on it. All right, you're the man of the house now. If it were some other kid, I'd be worried, but I know you can handle it. Sid starts to shake his head. No, you're twice as smart as me and 10 times as brave. You can do this, okay? Okay? He nods and then I muss his hair. And then I rise and I hug my mother. You can too, Ma. I love you, son, she whispers. I love you too, I say. And through the static of Plutarch's walkie-talkie, I hear Drusilla's impatient voice. Plutarch, don't think I won't leave without you. Gotta go, people, Plutarch says, and Drusilla waits for no man. The peacekeepers move in to separate us, but Ma and Sid hold tight. You remember what your pa said to the white comb child? Ma says urgently. It still goes. I flash back to the Justice Building and the weeping girl and the sickly scent of decomposing flowers that pervade the place. Pa is talking to Sarshi and telling her, don't let them use you, Sarshi. Don't. Plutarch, Drusilla screeches. Plutarch Heavensby. I forgot that. Oh, the chills that just went up my arm. Heavensby Hall. Plutarch is a Heavensby. I forgot. I know we knew his last name, but like, it didn't click. Peacekeepers rip us apart. I'm lifted off of my feet as Sid begs, please don't take my brother. Please, we need him. I can't help it. I should be a good example, but I struggled to get free. It's okay, Sid. It's going to be... And a jolt of electricity rakes my body, and I go limp. I can track the heels of my boots bouncing up the stairs and over the carpet of the Justice Building, through the gravel on the drive behind it. And in the car, I let them cuff me without objecting. My brain's fuzzy, and I don't want to be zapped again. Wobbly-legged, I climb the metal steps to the train, where I'm tossed into some compartment with a single barred window. I press my face against the glass, but there's nothing to see but a grimy coal car, which is interesting that Snow and him work together. Yeah, it sure is. For all Drusilla's whining, we go nowhere for an hour. The sky blackens and the storm breaks. Hail clatters against my window, followed by sheets of rain. By the time the wheels of the train begin to turn, my head has cleared. I try to memorize every fleeting image of 12, the lightning illuminating the dingy warehouses, the water streaming down the slag heaps, and the glow of the green hills. That's when I see Lenore Dove. She's up on the ridge, her dress plastered to her body, one hand clutching the bag of gumdrops. And as the train passes, she tilts her head back and she wails in her loss and rage to the wind. And even though it guts me, even though I smash my fists into the glass until they bruise, I'm grateful for her final gift, that she's denied Plutarch the chance to broadcast our farewell. The moment our hearts shattered, that belongs to us. Oh! Oh! Chapter 3. After a while, I slid down the wall, cradling my swollen hands and panting. Pain stabs in my chest, and I wonder if a person's heart really can break. Probably. The word broken-hearted had to come from somewhere. I imagine my heart busts into a dozen glassy red pieces, their hard, jagged edges stabbing into my flesh at every beat. It may not be scientific, but it matches what I feel. Part of me thinks that I will die right now, bleeding out on the inside, but it isn't going to be that simple. Eventually, my breathing slows, and general despair descends on me. I will never see Lenore Dove again. Never hear her laugh coming from high above in the branches. Never feel the warmth of her in my arms as we lay in a bed of pine needles. My lips are pressed into the hollow of her neck. Never pull a stray goose feather from her hair, or listen to her play her tune box, or press my fingers into the crease that forms between her eyebrows when she's puzzling out a thought. I'll never see her face brightened at a bag of gumdrops, or a full moon, or the sound of me whispering, "I love you like all fire." That's crazy, Liz. It's like you're in the movie. It's been taken away, all of it. My love, my home, my ma, my sweet little brother. Why did I tell him he's the man of the house now? That wasn't fair. That's too much to put on someone so young and hopeful's shoulders. My mama, on Pa's side, used to say that Sid was born looking on the sunny side. I think he's missed a lot of trouble down here on Earth because he's always studying the sky. He's fascinated by the sun, the clouds, the bodies that come out at night. Tam Amber taught Lenore Dove about the stars that the Covey used to navigate by them a long time ago, and she taught that to Sid. On a clear night, he drags us all outside to see the pictures that they make. There's the water dipper, just like ours in the bucket, and over there's the bow hunter. He looks like burdock, don't you think? And that one's a swan, but Lenore Dove says she calls it a goose. Anyway, that's yours, Ma. See the W? It's yours for the name W, Willa May. And if you flip it around, it's an M for Ma. Ma always looked pleased because when she does get anything nice, let alone something so fine as her own set of stars, it's all about her giving things to us usually. So I pretend not to see her bring in a chicken that last night that I'm sure she planned to fry for my birthday. She probably took on an extra wash to afford it. Will she be able to make ends meet without my wages from Hattie? Or she will, or, well, she'll die trying. Ma, oh Ma. Plutarch was right. I did mess up, big time, and I'll pay for it with my death and with the broken hearts of the lives of everyone who loved me. I stare out at the trees flying by. I always thought that if one of us shook free of 12, it would be Lenore Dove. Her people were great travelers once, going from district to district to perform their music. Tam Amber even remembers it. He was about my age when the war ended and the peacekeepers rounded up the Covey, killing all the adults and confining the kids to our district. Nothing Lenore Dove loves better than those stories of the old days with her kin rattling around in a broken-down pickup. When fuel got scarce, they resorted to hitching it up to a team of horses, and by the time they were herded into 12, the team was pulling an old wagon and most of them were on foot. But they were making it work, cooking over open fires, rolling into towns, playing in warehouses like the Hob, or in fields if none were available. I know, right? Oh, God, it's heartbreaking how young they are. That's what makes the Hunger Games so crazy. It's children. They were famous in their own way to the locals. I'm sure that their life had its trials, but she has such a romantic view of it, I never mentioned that. Returning to it is impossible since no one can leave 12, and her uncles would never entertain the idea of hitting the road again. But Lenore Dove is convinced that there must be people outside of Panem, far to the north. Sometimes she takes to disappearing deep into the woods, and I worry that she's not coming back. Not really, but I do worry a little. I guess I can let that go now. Either we outrun the storm or it outruns us. The lingering raindrops on the windows make me think of the cistern and how I ran off to see Lenore Dove instead of going home to fill it. I don't regret that precious last rendezvous with my love, but I do wish that I could have left Sid and Ma with a full tank, not just a few gallons in the rain barrel that might provide. Not that I think Ma will be able to do laundry this week, or I don't know, maybe she will. She didn't miss a beat when Pa died. She just made a giant pot of bean and ham hock soup, the way that we do in the scene when someone dies, and then she got back to work. I remember sitting by the stove, my tears splashing on the floor a few inches from a puddle under a miner's shirt. In winter, clothes have to be hung inside to dry. Something's always dripping. The train keeps rolling on, pulling miles between me and everything that I've ever known or loved or hoped for. Dreams of one day letting Ma quit the laundry business, leaning on Sid about his schoolwork so that he might get a coveted underground mine job, like keeping books a coveted above ground mine job. You thought that was your, oh no, that was the chair I was moving, sorry. Above ground mine job like keeping books or loading trains where he could always lay his eyes on the sky, and a life with Lenore Dove, loving her, marrying her, raising up our kids, teaching them about music, me doing, I don't know, whatever, digging coal or making white liquor. It wouldn't have mattered if she was with me. All gone. It's all lost now. Woodbine no longer seems reckless since he got to die in 12 and not in some sadistic arena out in the West like I will. A few years ago, the arena would go darkish without warning, and these gigantic coal-black weasels would melt right down and out of the shadows and attack the tributes. I think of those pointy teeth ripping off the faces of the girl from District 5. Yeah, I should have run. I should have let the peacekeepers blow off my head in the square. Plenty of things are worse than a quick, clean death, and by now I might be wrapped in white linen sleeping with my kin under the Abernathy headstone. We don't tend to let the bodies ripen in the heat here. Several hours pass before a key turns in a lock and Plutarch sticks his head into my compartment. Do you feel up to joining the others? He says this like I'm recovering from a bellyache, not from being tased and torn from my life. I don't know what to make out of this Plutarch person. I hate him for forcing Ma and Sid to play act for the cameras, but he did let me hug them when Drusilla said I couldn't, and he probably saved Lenore Dove's life by asking to keep her for a tearful goodbye. He's unpredictable as lightning, might be worth staying on his good side. Ain't that the truth? Besides, I need to check on Luella. I'm all she's got now. Sure, I say. Plutarch orders the peacekeepers to uncuff me and then leads me down a rocking hallway of the train to another compartment. Molded plastic seats and an array of neon colors line the sides of the car, and I slide in next to Luella across from Wyatt and Maisie. Anybody hungry? Asks Plutarch, and no one replies. All right, well, let me see what's cooking. He withdraws, locking the car door. I nudge Luella with my elbow then. Hey, girl. I offer her my hand. Her hand slips into mine, and it's icy cold. Hey, she whispers. It wasn't fair how they took you. And for the first time I consider this. Fair? Yeah, sure wasn't. My reaping was, irregular, maybe even illegal. But the number of people in the capital to whom I could plead my case is exactly 0. I'm nothing but an amusing tale for Drusilla to tell between caviar and cream puffs. For me or anybody else, I tell Luella. Her little face is so pinched before I really think it through, I ask her, so, are you gonna be my ally, or what, sweetheart? She actually smiles at this. It's an old joke. When she was 5 and I was 8, she decided that she was my sweetheart and trailed after me, telling anyone who would listen. It lasted about a week, and then she transferred her affections to a boy named Buster who gave her a bullfrog. I think her heart would have moved on anyway, as you probably wouldn't get too stuck on someone that you have burping contests with, but we're still good buddies anyway. If I had a little sister her age, I'd want her to be just like Luella, and I've harbored the hope that she would wait for Sid to grow up before moving on to a real sweetheart. Now, of course, her chances of growing up are nil. She's frozen forever at 13. I'll be your ally, she says. You and me. We can trust each other. You might think this would kick off a General District 12 alliance, but as I consider the other candidates, I'm not sure that's desirable. I can't get a read on Wyatt. On the one hand, that blank stare doesn't suggest a lively mind, and on the other hand, he's fairly good-sized, and I've never heard anything bad about him, which is more than I can say for Maisie Lee. I have no shortage of information on her. Most of it was gathered firsthand, and none of it was flattering. Maisie Lee Donner. Where to begin? All right. Right from when we started school, she and Marilee made an impression on me, not just because of their town ways, but because my ma lost a set of twins. 2 little girls, tiny little things that came too early. She grieved them mightily in her way. She was scrubbing clothes against the washboard until they shredded into pieces. And while Pa was never one to show his feelings, I heard him bawling when he thought I was asleep. The Donner twins have always held a certain fascination for me, as I wondered what my own sisters might have been like. Not like the Donners, I hoped. I guess Marilee isn't too bad, except that she tends to go along with everything that Maisie Lee does, and Maisie Lee has been too good for the rest of us since day 1, prissing around in her shiny shoes and her nail polish and never without some kind of ornament. That girl does love her jewelry. Bye, Naisa. Yeah, it is interesting to be able to visualize the characters now. I look at her now, staring out the train window with her fingers entwined in the strand of half a dozen necklaces, some beaded, some braided cord, some with trinkets hanging off of them. At least one of them is real gold. While seam folk might have treasured an ornament or two, nobody has 6 necklaces, and if they did, they wouldn't show off by wearing them all at one time. Plutarch slides open the door and steps back to admit a capital attendant bearing a tray with sandwiches. Each one is loaded with a day's wages worth of meat, fresh ham or roast beef or chicken, all cut thin and piled high, and sports on a small paper flag of Panem, and each one sports a small paper flag of Panem on top. My mouth starts to water, and I realize I haven't eaten anything since breakfast. The attendant offers the tray to Luella, who hesitates, overwhelmed by the bounty before her. The Mahoys can go weeks without meat, and what do they generally get comes from a tin. The attendant registers her discomfort and adopts a patronizing tone. Is there a problem, miss? Luella reddens, and the McCoys don't lack pride. Before she can answer, Maisie snaps, Of course there's a problem. Do you expect her to eat with her hands, or don't you have plates and silverware in the capital? Now it's the attendant's turn to blush, and he stammers out, they're just sandwiches. I mean, people just pick them up. Without even a napkin? Asks Maisie. I seriously doubt that. The attendant turns to Plutarch, thrown. Do they get napkins? Certainly. There are guests, Tibby, says Plutarch mildly. I've got to check on something in the kitchen. Let's see if we can scrounge up a few plates, too. Will you excuse us? And then the door clicks shut, and I can't help laughing. Shut up, says Maisie. Listen, Luella, if you let them treat you like an animal, they will. So don't let them. It's a little too much for Luella, and her eyes narrow, and she retorts, I wasn't planning to, but somebody cut me off. Fine, says Maisie. Then you don't need my help. I don't need help from anybody who says my sister uses coal dust for powder, Luella tells her, and Maisie smiles a little, remembering. She did get a lot cleaner after that. This reminds me of when I was 6 years old and I got chiggers and Maisie nicknamed me Itchy Itchy Hamishy. Nobody would come near me for 2 weeks, and even though I told them I wasn't contagious, the name still makes me cringe 10 years later. Any inclination that I had to team up with Maisie disappears then. She's making this ally thing really easy for us, I say to Luella. She sure is. Luella crosses her arms, and then something catches her eye, and she frowns. I follow her gaze to Wyatt, who looks as remote as ever, his eyes fixed on a sign on the door that reads, Watch your step. There's a glint in the evening sunlight, and his knuckles are rolling a strip of coins in a smooth, practiced fashion. At the click of a key in the latch, the coin vanishes. Tibby wheels a cart in laden with dinner stuff. Everything seems to be made of plastic in this train. Cart, seats, utensils, cups, plates. Easy to spray down and sanitize after we're out, I guess. I checked, and there's a surprise for dessert, Plutarch teases from the door, like we need any more surprises today. Tibby hovers over Luella. What can I get you? We have chicken, ham, and roast beef. Ham, says Luella. Sure you don't want to try for a roast beef as well? The chef uses a marinade that makes it rather special, says Tibby. Why not? Luella accepts her plate, her napkin, her utensils, and a bottle of lemonade. When Tibby turns to Maisie, his solicitousness vanishes. And you? Maisie takes her time considering the platter. The roast beef, as rare as you have it. She spreads her napkin out to protect her skirt, and then she arranges her utensils on it. Tray wouldn't have been unheard of, but never mind that. And when Wyatt and I have received loaded plates, I order all 3 sandwiches, and the attendant and Plutarch withdraw. I look at Maisie, who's daintily cutting hers into tiny bits and sparing them with her fork. Believe me, no one else in Panem, not capital or district, eats a sandwich like that. So I decide to start with the ham, and I take a big bite. Boy, it is good. It's smoky, salty, and drizzled with something that tastes like Ma's Chow Chow, and I notice Luella peeking under the top layer of the bread. Go on, eat it up, I tell her. My ally could use some meat on her bones, so she digs in. It doesn't take long for me to polish off my sandwiches, and I drain my lemonade bottle. The food lifts my spirits a bit. Maybe there's a way out of this, like Maybe we make a break for it and we jump from the train. I puzzle out how we achieve this, and Plutarch reappears and invites us to move to the lounge car with him. And in the hall, I check for possible escape routes, but peacekeepers block every potential exit. We relocate to the back of the train where the area is done up like a sitting room. The plastic upholstered furniture is softer and stickier than our compartment seats. Capital News plays on a screen built into the wall with a recap of today's reaping, and it begins by the time we've settled in. I've been working on the District 12 segment all afternoon, says Plutarch. Gave it the old Heavens Be spin. You four come off beautifully. Drusilla totters in the door, a tall red drink garnished with vegetables in her hand. The front of her yellow military jacket is now unbuttoned, and it keeps flapping open to reveal her undergarments. Plutarch offers her a chair. Saved you the best seat. She collapses into it and pulls a stalk of celery from her drink and chomps on it. How old did I look today, Plutarch? Not a day over 30, Plutarch promises. Everybody commented on that. Well, you get what you pay for. She slurs, gingerly probing at her cheekbones with the celery. She points at the screen and laughs. Ha! There's Genevia. Little perfect princess didn't get any cloud cover. She looks ghastly, don't you think? Genevia, a pint-sized lady in 6-inch heels and pink polka dots, begins calling names in District 1. The program moves on, and they air every district's drawing. Besides us, 44 tributes were reaped today. Half girls, half boys, every shape and size. And as usual, the kids from District 1, 2, and 4 live up to their nickname as the Careers, which means that they seem to have been training for the Hunger Games since birth. Here and there, chance has thrown in some additional brawny kid, but plenty of scrawny ones balance them out. On the brawny to scrawny scale, I do okay, largely because all those bags of grain that I haul for Hattie, but some of those careers could crush me like a bug, and Luella has yet to get her growth. As a strapping boy mounts the stage in District 11, Drusilla states the obvious. You lot better be able to run. She doesn't even say this in a mean way, which makes it scarier. Other factors besides size come into play. Brains, skill, strategy. Never rule out luck, says Plutarch. Your mentors, they're going to talk you through everything. Our mentors, our guides, our masterminds, and our protectors in the Hunger Games, except 12's tributes don't have automatic mentors, not even one, because we're the only district without living victors. That's who the job traditionally falls to. In 50 years, we've only had one victor, and that was a long time ago. It was a girl who no one seems to know anything about. Back then, barely anyone in 12 even had a television, so the games were mostly hearsay. I've never even seen her in the clips of the old shows, but then those early efforts are rarely featured as they're said to be badly filmed and lacking in spectacle. My parents weren't even born yet, and even Mama couldn't tell much about the girl. I brought up our Victor with Lenore Dove a few times, but she never wanted to discuss her. Who are our mentors anyway? I ask. Whew, man, it's hard to even read that. That was just like, oh, because you know it's Lucy Gray, and you're just like, what happened to her? You know? They're in the process of selecting them from a pool of victors not tapped to oversee their own district tributes, says Plutarch. Don't worry, some very talented candidates are in the running. Yeah, candidates who would be pariahs if they led a District 12 tribute to victory while their own district's tributes died. Most years, I don't even hear about who ends up mentoring the kids from 12. Let's face it, we're really on our own. Yeah, I think it's 30 years, Nikki. Someone can correct me if they look it up, but I think it's about 30 years. No, wait. Maybe it's only 15 years. Wait, no, if his parents weren't even alive. Yeah, maybe it is 30 years. So it was the 10th Hunger Games in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and this is the first quarter quell, so I think this is the 50th. So I guess it's 40 years. Yeah, it's 40 years. Tambri's right. Yeah, it's 40. Okay, I worked through that and said it right. Yeah, it's 40. Okay, so it was 40 years ago. So that would give Lucy Gray enough time to have a kid, pass away, and the kid be 16, you know? It's possible. That's why Claire Carmine and Tam Amber are so old now, you know? They were what, like 19-ish? Because they were too old to be reaped. So they had to either be 19, 20, 21, something like that. And now it's 40 years later, they're in their 60s. Makes sense? Drusilla lets out a gasp. Daylight is murder. They've cut to District 12, where our fates were sealed. And yet you are luminous, Plutarch assures her. I watch, both fascinated and sickened by the flawless transition from Maisley's drawing to Wyatt's and mine. Not even a hint of Woodbine's shooting or the turmoil that followed. And there's my name, there's me, there's Ma gasping, there's Sid crying, and Lenore Dove with her hands clasped over her mouth. That's not what happened, I say. None of the footage has been tampered with. Not really time to do that properly, says Plutarch. I just did a little card stacking to help you out. You did what? Asks Luella. And before he can answer, Wyatt, who hasn't opened his mouth except to eat since District 12, weighs in. He stacked the deck in our favor, shuffled the shots around to give us an advantage. Plutarch beams at him. Exactly. A corner of Luella's mouth twists down. You mean like in a card game when people gamble? Isn't that cheating? It is and it isn't, says Plutarch. Look, we need to sell you to the sponsors, and if I showed the audience what really happened, the Chance boy's head being blown off and crowd control and Hamish attacking the peacekeepers, I object. Hey, no, I didn't attack anyone. They attacked my girl, and I stepped in. Same thing, says Drusilla. You're not allowed to interfere with our peacekeepers. I'm trying to show you in the best possible light, says Plutarch, and Maisley rolls her eyes. Yeah, like when our shop's stale marshmallows are called chewy, and then we charge an extra penny for them. I scowl at her. I've fallen for that chewy marshmallow scam more than one. Stress the positive, ignore the negatives, says Plutarch. Instead of 4 violent district piglets who hate the capital, Drusilla begins. You're a quartet of attractive kids who hopped right up there on that stage, and the cheers of your district reared out around you, raring to go, finishes Plutarch. You should be down on your knees kissing this man's feet. Maybe you won't get any sponsors, but at least you haven't repelled them. He's given you a total makeover, says Drusilla. You mean he's given the capital a total makeover, scoffs Maisley. You look competent when you couldn't even pull off the reaping. I like to think that it was mutually beneficial. The audience is none the wiser. I saw to that. I'm entirely the capital's plaything. They will use me for their entertainment and then kill me, and the truth is I'll have no say in it. Plutarch acts friendly, but his indulgences, my family's goodbyes, his fancy sandwiches, are just a method to manage me because happy playthings are easier to handle than raging ones. To get his footage, he'll indulge me right into the arena. As if to confirm this, the door sitting room bursts open to reveal Tibby, his face aglow with 16 candles on a giant birthday cake. Happy birthday, Hamish. Terrible. It's just terrible. I think Suzanne is really digging the knife in with this one for us because, like, the thing is, if you, and you can all correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I'm just going to spitball what my thoughts are on it. If you read book 1 and you love it, you want to read book 2 and you're invested in the characters. And then, I know, seriously, Mel. And then you read book 2 and 3 and you're invested in what happens, and it ends conflictingly, emotionally, right? You're like conflicted at the end of book 3 because you're like, man, I was really hoping we get a happy ending, but like no happy ending, right? It's just like a medium ending, right? Okay, fine. And then you know who President Snow is. So you read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and she gets you because she makes you want, we did chapter 2 and 3. Yeah, chapter 2 and 3, I'll post it soon. She gets you wanting to root for Coriolanus, even though you know who he is and you know how he turns out, because we've read the first 3 books. They were written first. So you're reading it and you're really rooting for him. And then it gets to the last 2 chapters and you're like, bro, what? And his villain origin story is so well crafted, right? And you're like, man, this is just crazy. And you even think for a moment, or at least I did, you even believe when they're out there in the woods with the snakes and the guns, I really believed when I first read it that she I mean, that is true, Jen. I'm going to read this out because you can't see the comments when we put it on YouTube. Happy endings are rarely a part of fascism and revolution. True. But did anyone else really believe when they first heard it that, like, Lucy Gray really was trying to get him with the snakes? Like, I believed that. And I was on her side for it. I was like, well, you know? And I was with her. And then you find out that she didn't even do it, you know? And he was still, like, after her and all this stuff. And you're just like, man, oh man. And all that happens and whatever. But then you start this book. And this book is close enough to the first three that the characters have recognizable names. And we know that Katniss's mom is friends with Marilee, you know? And we know that Burdock is her dad, and he's there, and he's like, could have been him, you know? And it's just like, man, oh man. And so it all just hits real close to home. Yeah. She really got you. She's really getting us. Whew. Well, anyway, that's that for today. I have a doctor's appointment later today, but I am going to try to make the first grab bags of the month today. And if I'm able to do that on a live, I will. It just depends on how the doctor's appointments go. It's an eye doctor appointment, so it's not like a big deal. It's just a generalized checkup, but it does take time out of the day. So as long as everything is on time, you know, whatever. But I do have to make grab bags today one way or another. So that is the whole kit and caboodle. Slimes from, that's exciting, Anya. I'm very excited to see them. I hope you all have a great, yes, past Eagle Vision. I hope so. I'll report back on what my vision is. I haven't had my eyes checked since I was a kid, so we'll see. I can test it right now. Let's see how far away I can put you guys and still read your comments. Let's see. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna wait till I get a little further away. Okay, somebody say something that I haven't already read. Let's see if I can read it, and I need to cover this so that it like isn't all white. It's super powerful. Have an amazing eye appointment. Hello. Okay, so I can read it from back there. If they opt for go for the eye scan, not the dilation. Oh, okay, good. Your mail is delivered today. Oh, yay. Your vision is so bad. Secret Husbands is like medium. Something that we haven't read. It. Very funny. I wonder if I can go further. If I can go further, if it's like not in the sunshine, you know? Because when it's in the sunshine, it's harder to read. Yep, good. It's tiny text too. This is a box of bubble wrap in case you're wondering what's going on there. Wire counter is such a mess. What's BVD? I don't know what that is. Eye scan is much nicer. Okay, hold on. Let's see. No, I can't read it that. Wait, yeah, I can. Mine is extra money, but I will pay to not have the. Oh, is the dilation not bad? Hey, Sasha. Let's see if I can go back one further. It's too bright. I'll link in Patreon. Okay, so as long as the light isn't behind it, I can read that far back. It's pretty funny. But when it's like too lit up, like because the problem is the text is white, and if the light shines in, it just looks like white on white, and you can't read that. But as long as like my hand is here, then I can see it. You know what I mean? Because it like darkens behind it. You have a focus issue. Oh yeah. Secret Husband is nearsighted, so he has to wear. It's a phone. I'm using my phone. You can barely read 2 feet away. No, I can definitely read further than that. Yeah, anyway, they're going to tell us today. I always thought white text was weird. It is, right? Because when there's light, you can't see, and that makes it hard. Yeah, it's a phone. Yeah. So that's everything. All right, well, I'll let you guys know how my eye appointment goes, and we will see you at the very least tomorrow. And gonna make grab bags today so those can start shipping out. 2 things. I love your carrier, and I love that you cover their face. Oh, thank you. Yes. Yeah, I always keep her face covered one way or another. Sometimes she sleeps facing the other way, and then I don't have to do this because she's facing away naturally, or sometimes I'll just stand like this and then I don't have to do anything because the back of her head is not exactly unique. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. The back of her head is extremely unique, but no one's going to be able to find her by the back of her head. But thank you. I also love the carrier. This is our comfort carrier. It is the one we've had the longest, and it's the one we use the most. We use it every single day. Since I got this carrier, I looked back. I got this carrier the 3rd week of February, which means that she was not even a full month old yet, and we have used it almost every single day since then. Yes, exactly, Brittany. That's exactly right. As best as possible. The good thing is her face is always changing because she's so little. You're so weirdo. She's passed out, you guys, just like out. Could you imagine a lineup of babies identifying by the back of their head? I cannot. I don't know. I think I could do it with her only because she has the swirl. You know, she's got the little swirl there. Do you guys see her swirl? But other than that, I'm not sure I could do it. But she does have a swirl, which she got from both of us because both my husband and I have a lot of cowlicks. So anyway, all right. I'll see you guys later, and hopefully we can get through 2 chapters again tomorrow because that was great. This book is so good. I can tell it's her by her singing. Well, that's cheating. Really, really wishing the best for you, Jamie, with your goats. Like that, just it's heartbreaking actually, and we're all going to be rooting for them to find them. All right, bye guys.